Story 1. Sister insults me, later pays the price.
This happened about 10 years ago. I was at home, and my cat was being a little crazy, as cats do. My sister saw my cat scratching on the carpet and made a snarky comment to my mom, who I was living with at the time, that I should get rid of that stupid bitch of a cat and get her put down, and started laughing. I of course react not so nicely, and she asks me why I am being a see you next Tuesday, if you are catching my drift. My sister is a chronic crapstirrer, so she made me upset, and I left for an event I had to go to. A few hours later, I get a call, and I answer. It was a police officer. I thought the worst and asked what was going on. It turns out my dad was at a bar, and I guess he got a little too tipsy. They said he was lying down next to the building and pooped himself. I, of course, am pretty close to said bar, but my sister was too. I told the police officer on the phone that I was at an event and was not available and to call my sister. I gave him my sister's number and put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I checked my phone an hour later and had 5 missed calls, as well as a bunch of texts from her saying that she got a call from the officer and that Dad needed to be picked up immediately before they took him to the police station. It turns out she went to pick him up, and his pants were worse than the officer said. She had to clean him up quite a bit before taking him back home. I had voicemails cussing me out about how she had to pick him up and clean him. I called her back later and asked how it went. She was angry and asked why I couldn't do it. I tell her, sorry, I was too busy putting my stupid bitch of a cat down, and hang up. No, my cat was not put down, and she for sure got the message to not mess with me again. Edit to add context. The carpet was a piece of carpet that was cut out and left over from the house being built. My mom was okay with the cat scratching that piece of carpet. Edit 2. Mom and Dad are divorced, that's why I got called instead.
Comment 1. That's pretty casual reaction to your divorced dad in custody with so much shit all over him the cops would rather pawn him off so they don't have to clean their squad car. I'm sorry for your childhood, and I'm pretty sure you are obligated to post a photo of said cat.
Comment 2. My dad told me I should put my cat down because he was old. The cat outlived my dad by a couple of years. Comment 3. The weird bit is the dad shitting himself when drunk.
Comment 4. Eau de toilette à la chamelle.
Comment 5. Hilarious. Comment 6. Sheesh, fun stuff you guys had going on. So for fun with past trauma night or any holiday/family gathering where she gets out of lying, you can do the whole, haha remember the time when.
Story 2. Checkers versus chess.
TLDR, boss is trying to make my job difficult. HR won't allow it. I recently had major surgery during the middle of April. As I had my work phone off, coworkers would contact via my personal phone. Only 2 were ever concerned about my healing, and 1 even came to visit me when I went into the hospital due to hemorrhaging. Since my return on May 6th, I had been thrown into doing not only my typical 8 to 5 job, but also assisting in group homes. My first day back I worked a 14-hour day. After another day of working yet more hours than I should, falling behind in my actual work, and being frustrated that I wasn't being accommodated, I contacted HR. I explained that I had a doctor's note and that it wasn't being followed and what should I do? He suggested I speak to my supervisor. Well, my supervisor was conveniently on PTO. I went to the second in command. Mind you, the second in command is a female who had the same surgery I did and minimized what happened to me, because it didn't happen to her. I informed her that I had a doctor's note and she threw it back in my face, saying that it was too vague a note. The note states my return date and my limitations until I am reassessed. However, we have allowed staff with lesser notes to get away with more. She also stated that I can't pick and choose when I want to assist. I immediately contacted HR again, informing him of the conversation held. He stated that regardless of the contents of the note, it's still a note and must be followed. He spoke to the second in command on my behalf, stating that while I am management, I'm still also an employee. All this past week, the second in command has been treating me differently since I went to HR. I informed the first in command and was prompted to write a feedback form. I did, stating that just because I have shown that I'm a hard worker and willing to assist, I will not sit back and be taken advantage of any longer, given a very clear doctor's note is in place. And that just because other people have had the same surgery, doesn't mean we're the same and had the same experience. This escalated when at my post-op I received another doctor's note. And since first in command was once again on PTO, I beelined for HR once again. He stated it is a doctor's note that must be followed. I explained how the second in command is behaving towards me due to me going to him. The three of us had a meeting, where the second in command was attempting to play the victim and minimize her treatment of me and take back everything she said. I launched. I became very defensive. Which in turn she did too. I left the meeting, because HR and second in command had to contact one of the directors. Because I have a doctor's note, it must be followed. Therefore, I'm confined to my 8 to 5 duties, and that's it. I have a stellar work record with 0 write-ups or concerns about my work ethic. So, second in command can't do anything against me. Which is why she pulled me back in the office and played her little game of being friendly. However, HR wanted to speak with me further. And given how I'm protected because of him, I'll listen to him all day long. He has told me point blank he wouldn't allow for any write-ups against me given the gravity of the situation. I apologized to him for technically insubordination against a superior and he excused it, stating that sometimes those kinds of battles need to happen. He told me that my situation is a lesson to be learned, as regardless of my title, I'm still an employee. So, ultimately, my second in command is going to play her passive-aggressive games with me because that's all she can do. I'm protected for the next 3 months by a doctor's note that directors and HR deem legit. I'm also protected by HR because he follows HR rules to the T and am planning on staying on his good side. Second in command's game of checkers is being overrun by a game of chess.
Comment 1. Glad you are able to have an HR that gives a shit about legalities. Kudos, but it's rare. Comment 2. I want my 3 minutes back.
Comment 3. Good and rare. That HR is actually protecting your legal rights. But I don't see the revenge.
Comment 4. Where revenge? Comment 5. Did you use any uppercase letters in the form you filled out? Comment 6. Just wait until the 3 months is up and you no longer have a doctor's note. Second in command will try to make your life hell. Get prepared to fight back now.
Story 3. Prank caller? Enjoy the religious harassment.
Someone prank called my job today and they happened to be dumb enough to use their real phone number to do it. The CID matched the codes assigned to the city I work in. They kept me tied up on the phone pretending to be interested in hot dogs and trying to gaslight me into giving them a discount, eventually saying they need 500 hot dogs because they have some very hungry twinks to feed. At this point I hear someone in the back laughing, so I tell them I'm going to hang up if they keep screwing with me. I don't get the chance because they hang up first. Now I'm super annoyed by this because it's a busy Saturday and I have other things I need to do. Also, what adult spends their time prank calling random businesses and is dumb enough to not even 69 their number? So I pulled the caller ID off the phone and ran a reverse lookup, found the guy's name, verified that he lived in the area with Facebook, and used all that info to sign him up for calls and newsletters from the Jehovah's Witnesses. If he calls back while I'm here, I'll ask how he likes his newfound religion.
Comment 1. Let's not forget the Scientologists.
Comment 2. If you have his address, be sure to sign him up for junk mail. Comment 3. The Jehovah's Witnesses will do anything to get their foot in the door. Comment 4. How do you know it wasn't a spoofed number, and you've unleashed some wild harassment against an innocent person?
Comment 5. In the US *67 hides your number. Comment 6. A place for mom.